Good morning. I'm actually a few minutes late. I'm here. So I need to get into Proverbs on my computer screen. So I'll give you a time to catch a cup of coffee if you choose. Get paper, pen if you choose. Turn to Proverbs with us if you choose. I'd love to know if anybody in reading through Proverbs 1 or if you have read Proverbs 2 already for today, share in the comments something that may have struck a chord with you, made you pause for thought. And we're going to get into this shortly. I'm there. So, I hope your first day of 2026 went well, blessed, ready to continue into the second day of 2026. So, let me find my spot in my notes. There we go. And we'll get rolling. So, good morning. I have not even taken my first drink of coffee yet. So, good morning. I have nobody with me yet, but hopefully that changes shortly. We will be in Proverbs Chapter 2. I'm hoping to cover a chapter a day. But if for some reason something just seems to need extra oomph, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yesterday we went for about 30 minutes, and I don't intend to ever be longer than that. So 30 minutes, 6:30 to 7 each morning. Thank you for joining once again. So chapter 2 on Bible Hub, this is titled The Value of Wisdom. So the value of wisdom is high, very high. As we read into this, I think you'll see that God places high value on wisdom, and that we should seek it. The only thing probably that we should seek more than we seek wisdom is God himself. And in seeking him is finding wisdom. So let's get into it. It's addressed to my son. And again, just a reminder, this is written by Solomon to his son. And what we can take for this is it wasn't written just to his son. It was written to, yes, his biological son, but it has been written on to spiritual sons and daughters, to each of us, to those of us who want to gain greater wisdom. It's conditional because it starts off the first three words, my son, who's it addressed to, and if. There is condition to the promises of God quite often, to if we want this, then we have to do that. And that is very much how it is. If you want the benefits of wisdom, you have to walk in it. You have to seek for it. You have to put great value on it. So it is conditional. It is with promise. In verse 2, he's telling his son, if you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding, if you listen, we can hear without always listening. So we want to incline our ears to the point that we're not just hearing, but we're listening, and not just listening, but applying. The New Testament will say, blessed is he who not only hears, don't just hear the word, but do the word. Be doers of the word and not hearers only. I didn't actually think about that yesterday, so I'm going to add it to my notes. Be doers, not just hearers. We want to follow. So I'm making a note. And that's probably going to happen as we go throughout this, that I may think of a note that I want to add, because I'm keeping these notes for future teaching in Proverbs. Verse 4 goes on to say, seek wisdom as silver or hidden treasure. There's the value. Seek it as you would silver. If you knew there was silver to be found, that would be yours when you found it, I think we would seek for that silver if it would be within our possession. Or if we take that as seeking it as we seek what we need in finances to take care of ourselves, as we would seek and do what we need to do for finances to take care of ourselves, we need to seek and do what we need to do to have wisdom to take care of ourselves. So it should be sought as silver or as hidden treasure. It is very valuable. Verse 5 says, when you seek, apply. When you have the wisdom that you need, then you will understand the fear of the Lord, which chapter 1 verse 7 says the fear of the Lord is the very beginning of wisdom. That's where wisdom starts. And there is, again, the comparison. Remember, we have three characters, the wise, the foolish, and the simple. So it goes on to say, sorry, let me find it. The wise versus the foolish. The fear of the Lord seeks wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but the foolish will despise wisdom and instruction. The foolish will despise wisdom and instruction. So that's not who we want to be. We very much want to be the one who is seeking wisdom. I'm going to revert back to verse 7 of chapter 1 real quick. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. That's chapter 1, verse 7. All right, back into chapter 2. So, verses 6 through 9 tells us that the Lord gives wisdom from his mouth. What comes from our mouth? What comes from his mouth is his word. His word comes to bring us knowledge and understanding. So from his mouth, from his word, and the way we most easily receive his word is through the scriptures, through reading the Bible. And Proverbs is full of wisdom. It's a good place to find that. But throughout the scriptures, we find the place that gives us instructions in wisdom, instructions in knowledge, instructions in understanding. He has wisdom actually stored up. I love that. It's actually stored up for the upright. And we find that in verse 6. Stored up for the upright. And he shields us. When we seek his wisdom and we apply his wisdom, there's protection in shielding. He guards justice and he guards our path and he preserves our way, the way of the saints. We are the saints. We are the wise. Calvin's up and moving around. So, verse 9, it's all connected to the if. If we seek wisdom, if we apply wisdom, if we gain wisdom, then we will understand righteousness and justice, equity in every good path. The ifs of finding wisdom and applying it. Verse 10, when wisdom enters your heart and knowledge is pleasant to your soul, discretion will preserve you, understanding will keep you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the man who speaks perverse things. Apply what you have learned, then discretion, understanding. You'll be delivered from evil and men who speak perverse things. With wisdom, you'll leave the paths of unrighteousness and walk a path of righteousness. Without wisdom, we don't always understand. This goes on to say that there are those who would be walking the path of righteousness in verse 13, but they leave it. They leave the path of righteousness and uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness. Wisdom will help us to discern that sometimes people come into our lives and may be godly at the time, but choices they make can disrupt that, walk away from that. And in wisdom, we can recognize and not follow them down paths that would be detrimental to our Christian walk, detrimental to walking in wisdom. And so wisdom will even tell us who to associate with. Sometimes because of family circumstances, family dynamics, there may be people that'll be in your life, but choices have to be made in wisdom to associate differently. Protect yourself. Keep yourself in places that will honor God and show wisdom. Immorality leads to death. Immorality leads to death. That's from verse 18. So we want to live moral lives in wisdom. It would seem logical. It would seem a place of reasoning, but we need God's wisdom to reason things out accurately. Verse 21, the promise of those who are upright and follow after God's wisdom. The upright will dwell in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. We have promises. We have promises. The goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. If we walk in wisdom, if we walk in our uprightness, we will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. His goodness toward us by dwelling in the land and being blameless in that. But the wicked will be cut off and uprooted. So there's great promises to following after the wisdom of God. It looks like today's maybe just a little bit short and sweet. I hope you have comments to share. And thank you for joining. I see that there is one in the view box. So thank you for joining this morning. I hope others have come on later at your convenience. And please comment, share. I do go back and check the comments. Interested in what you have to say. And so we'll pick up with chapter 3 tomorrow. Blessings.